Welcome back, guys, to the Con Culture Convo. There's Tim. I'm here. We're together. We're not in split screens.
Nope.
We decided, if it helps you, we decided to do a at the show review just before we finish out.
About to break down and get out of here.
And what show are we at, Tim?
We are at Twin Cities Con in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Minnesota.
Minnesota,
I only
don't
heard
you know?
One person all weekend that had like the hard.
I actually did
accent.
100% say.
She was like, "Oh, no, how much are the prints?" And I was like,
I wonder
"Oh my
if
god,
it's
I love
northern Minnesota that has the
you.
accent.
Oh, you betcha. I love that accent.
Yeah, I do too. It's
Yeah.
actually really good.
Yep.
Anyway, if you might remember, if you've kept up with the pod, we had the promoter, Ben Penrod, on to promote his other show, Mad X. We'll link to that up here in the corner.
Yep.
Check that out. But also, we dabble, we almost pre-talk about this show on that episode as well.
Which is his big show. Like the
This
Nerd
is his
Street,
big one,
company that Ben runs. This
Right,
is like the
Nerd
big
Street.
time,
Yeah. So this is the show they do. So we're at the show, and we did the show.
Yep.
We did the damn thing. It's wrapping up on Sunday here, so we just figured we'd go over our review, make it more of an in-person thing, and get it out to you. So this will be the review of Twin Cities Con 2024. The Con Culture Convo is supported by Toy Temple. Toy Temple is one of the largest Funko and exclusive pop culture distributors in the United States. They specialize in providing an experience for fans through events, experiences, and an easy-to-navigate website full of unique collectibles at incredible prices. They have 9 retail stores in Arizona, booths at San Diego and New York Comic-Con, and a fast-growing website with 24/7 customer service. So head on over to thetoytemple.com, and we have a special for our Convo listeners. Use promo code CONTALK15 to take 15% off your next order. That's thetoytemple.com. And thanks to Toy Temple for supporting the Convo. And we're back. So, load in. What was your load in like for the show?
So I flew. This is the last show I think I'm ever going to fly to. I just couldn't make it work. Besides, I had to fly.
Yeah.
I couldn't drive, and that sucked because bringing and dealing with all that is not fun. But yeah, flew into the airport. The Uber, you got to go up. If you land at Minneapolis and you come down, you have to go on like 5 different floors. It's really annoying.
Oh, really?
Up, down. So if you're carrying a lot of stuff on the baggage claim, even getting out to like Uber or taxi or anything, you got to go down escalator, elevator, go all the way across, come back up again, go a different level, then go down. It's really annoying.
So it was difficult.
It's very difficult. It's one of the more difficult ones. It is a nice airport. It's a bigger airport, so just kind of make sure you give yourself time when you're getting to the airport. And then, got here. This is one of those easy load in the front door, walk right in. It's probably one of the closest from the entrance of the door to the actual hall. I mean,
agreed.
It's literally 50 yards from when you go in the front door, off of 3rd Street or 3rd Avenue, whatever, 3rd. You'll see there's a Hilton Garden on the other side in the church. Right there, that's where you want to be dropped off on the 3rd Street.
Yeah.
And you go right in, the hall's on the left, and you're right in all easy peasy. What about you? How was loaded for you?
Well, it's actually a lot of the same way in the back too, because I went through the loading dock, and they're always great. They have lots of parking. You park, you get out, the big door goes up, you slide your card in, and you're already on the sales floor.
Yeah, it's not like a dock
right there.
It's more of like a parking lot with like a ramp going.
No elevators, no nothing. You roll right to the booth. It's really one of the easier load-ins, at least the convention center wise.
Correct.
It's very easily accessible. So I had no complaints. I think I did 3 loads on my cart, and I was in and set it on up, and then parked across the street. There was a lot of close parking actually. There was a parking garage, parking lot. And then even on the other side of the highway, which runs right behind the convention center, there's multiple lots over there too. So all the parking
roughly
is about
$10 to
$15 to $20 depending on where you park. There probably is some $10 spots out there too. But yeah, it was pretty reasonable on the parking here in downtown Minneapolis.
And before we get into about to deep dive into Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sure.
The one thing you guys have to know here, if you do fly in or whatever, you stay downtown. It's actually not bad price-wise if you book it ahead of time, but right next to the center, there ain't shit to eat or drink.
No, you got to walk a few blocks.
You have to walk probably 5 blocks to get to the first set of restaurants. And there's a lot of really great spots.
Right.
But, there's just,
So yeah, there's not a lot of close food, but there is a lot of great food.
Yes.
in Minneapolis, which I definitely partook of. Went to a hot pot place. Went to the greatest Lucy Juicy burger place called 5A Club. That was awesome. Lucy Juicy's are cheeseburgers with cheese stuffed in the middle of them that are exclusive here to Minneapolis. So highly recommend those.
It's a very underrated food town. No one
It really
gives
is.
it the credit that it's,
I had 3 amazing meals here, so
it's
quite
great
lovely.
Asian food for being in the Midwest.
Oh yes, very good Asian food. We went to a hot pot place that had robots that delivered the food. It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So moving on from food, getting into Friday sales, how did they go for you?
Started off slow, like I think most Fridays are going to in today's day and age. The hours were 12 to 7, so it wasn't late, which I definitely prefer, especially in the wintertime.
Right.
When it's
Sometimes they
dark
go
for, like,
8 or
2
9.
hours. Yeah, no thanks. Nowhere to eat, nowhere nothing. It gets out at 9. It sucks.
Nobody wants to eat at 9.
It picked up for me around 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And ended up being pretty good after that. Not killer. I did a little less, about 20% less than my kind of goal I wanted to do for the day, but definitely wasn't bad.
Yeah. My Friday was actually very slow until the end. Like the last hour and a half, 2 hours, ended up being really good and made the day. But it was dragging. They did have a bigger crowd than I thought they would on Friday. But anyway, did moderately good. Gets us to Saturday.
Saturday was fucking insane.
That crowd was
packed.
huge.
Ben
Massive.
definitely did his part on getting the butts in the door.
Yeah.
Whether the sales were there or not.
Well, I heard there was
relevant.
12,000 single Saturday passes, and then you add on all the weekend passes. It got pretty crazy. So Saturday stayed packed the whole day. Sales kind of kicked in about an hour in, but the rest of the day was absolutely nuts. It was a huge
into the
crowd.
celebrities per usual.
Yeah, they did.
I think our vendors,
Hayden Christensen, Ian McDermott, that was a big draw.
Yes. And Tom Kenny. Don't forget
Tom
SpongeBob.
Kenny, SpongeBob, man, he brings them in too. Crazy.
His line was packed the entire day.
It really was.
I mean, after the show, it was 3 lines that were long. It was then 3, a mile long each when we were leaving.
SpongeBob makes an experience for every fan. If you've never met Tom Kenny in a show, you need to meet him.
Yeah, go meet Tom. He's a great guy. Very reasonable price for the experience you get. He talks to you for like several minutes.
Yeah,
so
he does. It's nothing. It's not a fly-by-night. Here's your autograph. Get out of here, kind of thing. So.
But for me, it started really late. About noon is when it really kicked in for me.
About 11 for me.
And then I got a lot of the traffic. I was facing backwards. I got a lot of traffic coming back. So my day really picked up at around 3 to 5. So I didn't have as good of a day as you. But I was about $100 short of my end goal. And it was like the last hour I was at $100 short. And I was like, I got this. And I had like 50 people come by, not one person bought at the end. And I was like, oh my God.
That always makes me
you're
mad.
Leaving, this is it.
I hate the ones that come up right at 5 minutes before close, look, and then 10 minutes after close that you've stayed open, they're like, you're gonna be here tomorrow, right?
You'll be here next year, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that one.
See ya. Yeah,
you gonna be in the same spot next year?
Yeah. Stupid.
I don't know.
But overall, for me, it was like $100 less than what I wanted to do.
Right.
So not terrible. I'm happy with it. But like most shows, it did die at, your 6.
Yeah, it thinned out about 6. So, I'd agree with that.
For every show though. So
it's been pretty standard.
Yeah. How about you?
My day was definitely pretty packed. It was definitely one of the better Saturdays I've had all year. So I would say I definitely have no complaints because
10 out of 10.
I doubled my low goal for the day.
Okay.
So I know, me too. Trust me, I was very blown away by that. Man. So I was happy with it. So solid sales, which gets us into Sunday today. A little bit lower crowd. So Ian McDermott and Hayden Christensen were only here, and Tom Kenny were only here for Saturday. But who do they have coming in today for Sunday?
Our lovely Flash.
The Flash was here for Sunday. So he definitely brought in a few people.
His line was crazy.
Yeah. So it definitely picked up and ended up being a really good day. Not really much to add more about Sunday until we get to.
That pissed off a lot of people.
Yes, I talked to several people.
Dude, they were so pissed.
Now, is he having health problems or what's going on with Sting?
Quite a few shows.
I've seen that.
So,
I talked to two people yesterday that were angry.
He makes an ungodly amount of money and he's only there for 4 hours, and he makes the same that some big celebrities make all day.
I kind of wonder if he's got one of those exclusive deals or something with some manager that they only do certain shows. Those are becoming more
so.
common, and I don't like
think
that.
But I just know he only does 5-hour signings, period. Then
That's
he's done.
crazy.
So
I mean,
he
I guess
flies in the morning up.
I got you.
Okay. And he is an older guy. So
He
it's
is.
Not, he's
That's
not
true.
Some young whippersnapper that can got off.
And those guys are all in pain all the time. So he might all he has the energy for is most likely.
Yeah. Or
Anyway,
maybe filming schedule for something, or
yeah,
he had to
could
stay
be.
somewhere longer.
He's still pretty active with it.
Whatever. But yeah, it started off really slow. For
Yeah,
us.
but it ended up being for me. It ended up being really good.
It was a solid day for me.
I mean,
Nothing
we're
crazy.
within an hour of close, so maybe a miracle will happen even today, but I doubt it. There's definitely a few people wandering around, but for the last hour or so, it's been a lot of I don't have any more money, which can happen in this room. A lot of great vendors here. So,
Yeah, the vendor
anywho,
floor was big, but the
Yeah.
traffic filled it, which
Very.
is really what you want.
very like New York Comic-Con level looking ice flows of people yesterday.
For your
Crazy.
Not so much mine.
Yeah,
I was
not
in
as
your
much
spot.
money as New York, but
No.
still very impressive, honestly. So kudos to the team that runs Twin Cities. Now, when you load out, are you going to try to go back out the front, get an Uber, or go out the back?
No, I'm going the exact same
Gotcha.
way I came in.
I got you.
Straight out. I'm about to literally pack up right after this.
Yeah.
And go pack up
Yeah.
to the airport. My flight leaves at a little before 7.
Yeah.
It's about 22 minutes to the airport.
Yeah.
And I'm flying on American, so I don't have the long line of Delta because that's Delta hub. So it's nicer when you fly into an airport that's not a hub of the airline you're on because the lines are typically shorter for you. So
I would imagine.
little tip you do down there. Another thing,
Yeah.
next year's dates are November 7th through the 9th,
Yes.
2025. Our favorite things and our favorite responses for vendors is the booth prices went up quite a bit. So it's still worth it because there's not many shows where you're going to get 25, 30,000
Right.
people at a show for under $1,000, but it went from 650 to 950.
Yeah, that's a
You're not on site.
substantial jump. $300 is a substantial jump. I'm sure there's reasoning behind it because they.
You told me his cost went up insane.
I'm sure,
Insane.
and that cost has gone up everywhere. A lot of shows will do that $50 or $50 increase per show, but this one jumped up 300.
I think he was
so
guilty of having prices too low.
it could have been because I
And-
remember when I first did the show, booths were only like $400 or $500.
And that was only, 4 years ago?
Yeah, so it's only, and I think last year I paid $650. So yeah, it had only gone up 100 or two since the show had started. So
He re-upped on Say. He was $200.
yeah, but
So,
it's a big jump this year. So,
Yeah.
but the crowd was here. I'm definitely going to do it.
I mean, I look at it, you have to look at it this way because it's the only way to justify it for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that if you got into a show and you paid the $850 for a corner booth now for the crowd it was, that would be a bargain.
Honest to God, I agree.
There's shows
I agree.
there's shows that get 1,500 to 2,000 people that charge
There's
fucking
Brian
$1,000 a booth.
Hussein. He's still here. Comedian.
around.
There he is.
Tell us a joke.
Oh wow, Tim,
Oh, no.
that was a great call out.
He looks like he's exhausted though.
He used to have this great bit about what the Star Wars prequels was like an uncle that molested you. We won't get into it. Look it up. It's phenomenal. Very funny comedian. You'll recognize him as
I
soon
like
as you
my
see him.
uncle.
And you like the
And I like
prequels,
Star
so
Wars.
there you
I
go.
don't mind the prequels. I think they get too much hate.
That's for another show, Tim.
We'll do a debate
Let's
about that
focus.
on another-
I am definitely going to go out the way I came in, out through the loading dock. Luckily, this show, very rarely, the convention center offers a limited amount of parking passes for you to buy before the show to park out on the loading dock. So I was able to grab one of those, and I'm nicely parked out
much
there in
was
a parking
that?
spot.
A day?
That was 20.
Yeah, that's cheap.
I want to say 25, but
That's cheap.
I bought it a month or two ago whenever I got the email. Either way, it was a nice little thing to do, so I'm all parked out there in my spot and ready for loadout tonight. Most convention centers do not ever let you park on the loading dock unless you slip a guy a Hunsky. Then sometimes you can park out there, or not. I don't do that, but I'm not above
Paying
it.
anybody, so.
I like,
Do what you gotta
I like,
do to get
I know.
through 2024. You
I
know?
like parking on the loading dock. I'm just saying, you do what you love. So yeah, right. So let's get into, I guess, earnings for you. How are you feeling about the
Definitely
show?
not I'm double cost
Okay.
ish. And
I
now,
gotcha.
when I go back to my booth and make $1,000 transaction,
Sure.
So maybe that will change.
Yeah, sure.
For the
I get that.
But no, it was about double double cost. So
I
I'm
got
not
you.
ecstatic about it, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with it because after losing money in New York, I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: I made like almost like 70% of what I made in New York, and that's
Wow.
like, so, like that should never be.
I mean, it's like a tenth of the attendance. No, it's not even that. It's not even a tenth of the attendance.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands less, and
Yeah.
literally, like significantly less.
That's nuts.
The fact they made profit at this show,
Yeah.
like by a lot more, that says everything.
Yeah. Well, my expenses for this were a little high because I was coming from Rhode Island Comic-Con, which was previous weekend, so I drove across. No, because they're on the same weekend next year. So my expenses were a little high, but somehow I ended up doing 4 times expenses. So it was a very good show for me.
$100,000. So that was a great weekend.
Can you imagine if your expenses were 100,000? What kind of business would we be in? Oh, crack. That's what we'd be doing. That's crazy.
If they make that, maybe.
No, wait a minute. Do
Is that a
crack
thing?
dealers?
Actually, yeah.
Post in the comments below. Do crack dealers make 100,000? They probably do. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the 80s anymore, though. I don't know.
Fentanyl.
That's the new. Yeah. We're not endorsing any of these. Don't listen to us. We're rambling.
Convo does not support any drug use in any
Any
shape or
way
form.
or form. I don't even know how we got into that. I brought it up. So, are you going to re-up?
Yes, but I'm doing both shows, and so I wanted to have. As anybody knows, I do have one staff member that still does shows with me, and I wanted to do both Rhode Island and Twin Cities like we did this year with both teams at both locations.
Right.
Now, obviously, we're gonna have to decide.
Sure.
I think I would probably come here.
Sure.
And then send my
Sure.
employee to Rhode Island, but we'll see what he wants to do. I don't care. Either way, it's irrelevant. I'm friends with Ben, so
Yeah,
the show,
the
so it's
promoter.
always good to see him. But I'm also friends with Bergie, who runs Rhode Island. So it's a flip of a coin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an insta yes for me, re-upping. So even with the price increase, gonna do it. No brainer. So closing thoughts on Twin Cities Con 2024.
They packed this place.
Man,
He even told me,
good
I mean, he
crowd.
said on the pod that they were going to have a really good turnout, and
Yeah.
they did. He backed it up.
Great
straight
guest
up.
list. People came in for it. In fact, I didn't even really see that many photo op pictures in hand, which they could have been in bags. But I mean, it was like a great mix of people here for just autographs and people here to shop.
Now, I will say this as a final thought that Friday when we were setting up, we were actually going to record a preview.
Yeah.
Both of us were such in weird moods because this was a weird week.
Yeah.
Coming off like arguably the most craziest election bullshit ever,
Yeah.
having a show that same weekend is weird.
And we all
And
kind of thought like, oh,
who's gonna bomb?
the
I thought this place
show.
was gonna bomb
Yeah, I
because
know.
of
I really did, just because it's been a weird week. Rhode Island was down for me, and they had a big crowd. It didn't really make any sense, so it felt like maybe the election hesitation was doing it. And I thought, okay, we're gonna run into that again. Any shows are right around a big election like that. It can happen. It's kind of like the stock market. But I was pleasantly surprised with this one. This one was
significantly better
way
than
up
what
than I
it
thought.
could have been very
Yeah.
easily. It could have gone the other direction.
yeah. My goals for this were way lower than what it ended up being, so I was pretty happy with it. But
Will you be back, or are you going to choose?
oh yeah,
between here and Rhode
mine was an insta. Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
It's a tough question.
Because this booth will be here. It's just whether I'm here running it, we'll see. But yeah, so my final thoughts were great show, and the
Great
5-8 Club is one of the best
Great
burgers
food.
I've ever had.
Yeah,
So
everything.
you should go eat there
Also,
as well.
I got this really cool sticker. That, if you know me, it says, "Shh, I'm listening to Taylor Swift." And it's
That
on
is
my
definitely for you.
Taylor Swift T-shirt.
Of course it is, because Tim can't be caught dead outside without a T Swift shirt on.
That's fine.
But it's like me
only
with
own
novelty
65
tees, so
on it, too.
you know.
Yeah. If we
Anyway.
could get a sponsorship with somebody who only makes novelty Taylor Swift related T-shirts, that would be good.
Literally,
A Blockbuster
that's the
Taylor Swift
brand.
shirt.
That'd be very on brand.
I'm listening to Taylor Swift while watching Blockbuster videos.
That's
there
right.
you go.
Bam.
We just gave you the biggest grossing idea ever. So you have to sponsor the show now.
No. Okay.
NoveltySwiftShirts.com.
Summing it up, T Swift good, Blockbuster great, Twin Cities Con, must go. You got to do it.
One of them's still around.
You got to do it. That's true. Blockbusters. There's one left. There's
And
one
we'll
left.
give you a quick little shout out to Ben, the owner of the show.
Yeah, Ben Penrod.
For next year, we'll give you his little calendar because you have this renewal
Do
form
it.
here. So we have Des Moines Con.
I do that show.
That is May 30th through June 1st.
Yep.
Madison moved up significantly from September.
Yes, it was in September this
to
year.
August 9th and 10th. Which
There
is
we
a very
go.
busy weekend.
There we go.
Twin Cities Con next year is November 7th through the 9th.
Yeah.
They are all available for purchase. To go
So vendors jump on it,
support
bros.
them. Definitely.
They do good shows. They
Twin
bring in
Cities.
crowds.
It's going to be good. So,
Yeah. So
perfect.
that's it for us, guys. We'll see you later from Twin Cities. We're going to pack up and get out of here.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you at the next one. Join the Convo.